Welcome back to another episode of The Shack Show, and in this episode of The Shack Show, I'm going to be talking about wetsuits. Wetsuits are one of the most important tools in my fishing. I guess if you could call it a tool. They're one of the most important things that I fish with. The reason why they're so important is I use them more as like a safety tool. Number one, it keeps me super warm and stuff in the water, but also it gives me the ability to be more buoyant when I'm swimming around in the water. It gives me the ability to swim if I get knocked into the water. Obviously, I wear a belt with my waders and stuff, but when I'm fishing off of the rocks, I don't want to be wearing something that's super heavy where if I do get knocked into the water, I'm not going to be able to swim. So this, for the most part, gives me the ability to swim and be more buoyant, and that really helps me out when I'm fishing. There's a few things I really like about this, and I wear an O'Neill wetsuit. I don't ask me in the comments what type of O'Neill wetsuit this is because I have absolutely no idea. All I know is it's a summer wetsuit. It's a pretty thin millimeter wetsuit or whatever they use the ratings on this because I'm no expert with wetsuits. So I just got one that, here we go. Actually, I found it. I was like looking all over this thing. This is the model I got right here of O'Neill wetsuit for all you at home. And that is, that's the wetsuit I have. It's great for me. There's a few things I really like about this wetsuit. One of them is having a more thick fabric on the knee section of this, which means that if I am trying to climb up onto a boulder, I'm not going to rip open my wetsuit. I can kneel on that and the rough rocks won't cut this thing open immediately, which is super nice. It's nice and warm too. So like when I'm swimming around, I don't really get that cold. I also wear a surf top, which I'm going to make a separate video of. Probably the next video you see will be of the surf top. But it's great for what I do. It's a full body wetsuit. It's has a good zipper in the back. Everything has held up for me for this whole season. And I'm really happy about it. There's nothing more that I could really say. It's comfortable. I've never really gotten like really chafed or anything around my neck or anything, because I know a lot of guys get all these like chafe marks from fishing with wetsuits on and stuff. I've never had an issue with anything like that. And other than like that knee pad like area of the wetsuit, there's nothing super special about it. Wetsuits are one of those things that like if you're going to be doing a lot of fishing off boulder fields, wading out to rocks, it opens up a whole new area where you can fish, where you can get a little bit further out. I definitely suggest being very safe when you do that, because you never know where you dive into the water and then all of a sudden you're in a rip current and you're gone. So always make sure that like you know where you are, you know where the current is, you're very familiar with the spots that you're fishing. That's the most important part when it comes to fishing with waders, wetsuits, whatever. When it comes to wading through the water, you just have to have a good idea of how deep things are and getting washed around, especially if you're a little more south than me. But even where I'm at in north of Boston, there's still a lot of sharks, but great whites specifically. So just make sure that you're not swimming in a place where there's tons of great whites and seals and stuff, because somebody's going to get eaten one of these days, because it's just such a sketchy area. A lot of those Cape Cod areas, especially where people do this. I think a lot of people don't do this as much, but again, just be aware of like if there are sharks in your area, that you're not swimming in very deep water, and maybe you're in a spot where it's harder for those sharks to be. Anyway, so that's probably my other like cautionary thing that I would talk about when it comes to wearing wetsuits. All right, so hopefully you guys, because I know a lot of people have asked me about, what wetsuit I use and wear and everything. Hopefully you guys like this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I'll see you next time.